was a solemn day over in Washington. This is all as lawmakers reflect on the January 6th Capitol riot 1 year later.
President Biden spoke earlier today about the attack, blaming former President Donald Trump and accusing him of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Fox's Caroline Shively live with reaction tonight from Washington. Caroline.
Good evening to you, Jonathan. In his talk, President Biden said that the rioters had held a dagger to the throat of democracy, but had failed to succeed.
I ask all members to rise for a moment of silence in their memory.
A somber day on Capitol Hill as lawmakers remember the events of the January 6th riot 1 year ago today, when a mob of Trump supporters made their way into the building, attacking police officers, breaking windows, and vandalizing offices. For many of those present that day, the attack still haunts them.
January 6th is not over. January 6th is not behind us.
To mark the anniversary, President Biden spoke from Statuary Hall, where rioters had laid siege. The president condemned the assault and placed blame on his predecessor, former President Trump.
For the first time in our history, a president had not just lost an election, he tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Trump slammed the speech, arguing it's political theater and a distraction. Republican leaders have largely condemned the violence that occurred last year, but many of them argue Democrats have overly politicized the tragic event.
It was a tough day for everybody. Again, that was my first day on the Senate floor, and it's gotten better from that point.
Just moments ago, members of Congress held a prayer vigil on the Capitol steps. That wrapped up just 2 minutes ago. Jonathan, back to you.
All right, Caroline, I know a lot of this is making its way through the courts still. What's the latest on all the court cases related to the riot?
Sure, more than 725 people have been charged with rioting and other charges from that January 6th day. More than 150 people have pleaded guilty.
All right, Caroline Shively joining us live from Washington. Thank you.
Today, people here in Houston are reflecting on the Capitol chaos. A vigil is taking place right now at the Mickey Leeland Federal Building. Sky Fox giving us a live look right now, and our Tiffany Justice is there on the ground, talked with folks and joining us live from the vigil. Tiffany.
Right, Rashi and Jonathan, local Houstonians are hosting a rally and vigil for democracy. It just started at 5 o'clock. And will wrap up around 6:30. We're being told around 100 people should be here in attendance. This is just one of over 300 events happening across the country.
It's a day that will be forever marked in U.S. history, the January 6, 2021 raid on the U.S. Capitol. For many, they're still in support. For others, they strongly disagree.
This should never happen, and it should not ever happen again. It's something that is done by people who is not ready to accept the truth.
The day in D.C. started with a rally that soon migrated to the Capitol, those in attendance believing that the recent presidential election was stolen. For those in support of what happened that day, taking to our social media to voice their thoughts, Rocky Garcia Jr. saying, "I'm glad this took place. A lot of long-standing career government crooks got their cages rattled on both aisles." Many Houstonians believe it's easy to be led astray by a commander-in-chief.
I think the president is the leading voice, is the leading influencer, and a lot of people reacting in a way that I am not going to talk about right or left. I'm just talking about the people who actually did it. It's very easy to con people.
Houston area Congressman Troy Nils helped defend the Capitol 1 year ago. He still believes there are security concerns that remain today.
That the Capitol Police lacks many, they lack in certain areas, several deficiencies, whether it was their training, their staffing. But the leadership within the Capitol Police had all the intelligence that day to secure that building. But it was ignored by some of the senior administration in the Capitol Police.
In all, at least 64 Texans have been charged for taking part. The FBI continuing to investigate, making 4 arrests of Houston area residents.
And across the U.S., more than 700 people were arrested for taking part in that riot on January 6, 2021. Reporting live, Tiffany Justice, Fox 26 News.